Good evening, pre-algebra. This is your flipped lesson for the weekend of December 9th, 10th, and 11th. I'm just going to cover a small review of stuff. First of all, we're going to talk about solving an equation like, say, x, oh, I'm not in right mode, x over 4, 3 minus x over 4 equals 12. This should be a simple problem by now, as good as you guys are getting at this. All right, I'm going to go through my questions. What's my goal? To get x alone. What numbers are keeping the x from being alone? The 3 and the 4. The 3 is attached by, don't say subtraction, it's attached by addition. Why? Because it's a positive 3. The 4 is attached by division. Saddam tells me to undo the addition before I undo the division. So to undo that, I will subtract 3 from both sides. When I do so, those cancel. I'm left with negative x over 4, and that will equal 9. X is still not alone. There is a negative and a 4 attached. The 4 is attached by division, so I'm going to multiply. But watch this handy little trick. I'm going to multiply by negative 4 on both sides. Those will cancel. The negatives will cancel. I'll be left with x equal to negative 36. All right, I'm going to give you a couple problems to try over here. You can go ahead and pause the video after I write them down, and you can see what you can do with them. So problem number 1 will be just your basic 3x minus 4. Oh, I just did those numbers. Silly Mr. Lawrence. Let's go with a 5x minus 4, and we'll make that equal to, say, 16. There you go. And then we'll do this problem here. Excuse me. We'll do 8 minus 2x, and we'll make that equal to 8. Okay, go ahead and pause your video, get those solutions, and when you're done, come back and see my work. If you're back, I'm only assuming that you're doing the problems, and you're done with the problems and you want to see my work. My first step will be to add 4 to each side. Okay, so I'll get 5x equal to 20. I'll divide by 5 on each side, and I'll end up with an answer of x equal to 4. On the second problem, I have to subtract 8 from both sides. Why do I subtract 8? Because that's a positive 8, just like in that first example I did. When I do that, I will end up with a negative 2x equals 0. I'll divide each side by negative 2. 0 divided by negative 2 equals 0. That means x equals 0. All right. Now let's look at another type of problem. How about the types of problem that have variables on both sides, like 5x plus 3, and we'll make that equal to 7x minus, oh, I don't know, 6. All right, when we have a problem like this, the first thing I like to do is make it so that I only have variables on one side. I usually like to get rid of the smaller variable first, the smaller coefficient. So I'm going to subtract a 5x from both sides. How did I know to subtract 5? Because that's a positive 5x. This step will allow me to only have variables on one side of the equation. All right, now that I've done that, it's just a simple two-step equation. By the way, some of you like to just rewrite it, and you like to go 2x minus 6 equals 3. That's fine. Go ahead and do that. Be warned that if there's a less than or greater than, and you switch sides like that, you'll have to change the sign or symbol. You'll have to flip it. I will demonstrate that in a minute. Tell you what, this is just like the other problem. Why don't you pause it and see if you can finish? Okay, if you're still playing, I can only assume that you've done the problem and you'd like to see me do it to see if we get the right answer. So I'll add 6 to each side. Sanam tells me to undo subtraction before undoing multiplication. I'll get 2x equals 9. I'll divide by 2 on each side, and x will equal 4 1/2, or 4 5/10, 4.5 as many of you say. So when there's variables on both sides, the first thing I do is get rid of one of the variables. I take one away. Let me give you two problems. Problem 3 will be negative 6x minus 4, and that will equal 2x. Oh, let's see here. Let's go with plus 12. That's one problem. And problem number 2, oh, problem number 4, excuse me. Okay, I'm actually going to scroll down a little bit, give myself a little more room. Shoot. And problem number 4 will be to do negative 3x plus 1 equal to negative 4x. Okay, go ahead and pause, see what you can do with those. If you've unpaused the video, I can only assume you're ready to see my solutions. So the first thing I will do here is get rid of this 6x. I've told you I like to get rid of the smaller the x with the smaller coefficient. A negative 6 is less than a positive 2. Those will cancel, leaving me with a negative 4, which equals 8x plus 12. I'll subtract 12 from each side. Negative 16 equal 8x. Divide by 8. X will equal negative 2. Give yourself a gold star if you got that one right. Okay, the next one, problem 4. To show my solution for that, I will subtract 1. No, I will not. First, I'll get in writing mode. I'm going to add 3x to each side. Now, some of you are thinking, hey, you said to get rid of the smaller one first. Yeah, most of the time I do. Getting rid of the smaller one in this case will cause me an extra step. So I'm going to use my experience and not do that. I'm going to get a 1 on this side. I'm going to get a negative 1x on that side. I'll divide each side by negative 1. X is going to equal negative 1. And there we go. Okay, another type of problem we looked at has stuff like this. All right. In this case, before I can start using Saddam and getting rid of stuff, I need to get rid of that negative 3. He is tying up this x. He's also tying up the positive 5. Saw Mr. 100 will do that in 7th grade. I really like that. So let me get rid of those. Okay, but you saw that they were there. I'm going to undo this division. The negative 3 is attached by division. How am I going to undo it? I'm going to multiply each side by negative 3. Okay, those will cancel, leaving x plus 5. That'll be less than negative 6. I'm almost done. I'll subtract 5 from each side. X will be less than negative 11. When it's an inequality, I'll have to provide a graph. All right, negative 11. Let me see here. I need an open circle. X needs to be less than negative 11. Let me see here. Which one is smaller? Negative 11 or, excuse me, negative 12 or 6? Positive 6. Well, negative 12 is smaller. I will shade towards the negative 12. I just made those two numbers up on the number line to test and see where I would shade. All right, two more examples. Example 5 and example 6. I don't know if you noticed I switched over to inequalities. That was because I don't want to do like 10 problems of every type. You guys don't need that much review. So on this one, I will, all right, let's say we have this equation, negative 2x plus 4, and that's all. That will be over 6. Oh no, I'm not in writing mode. That'll be over 6, and I will make that greater than, let's go with negative 1. All right, and problem number 6 will be negative 3x plus 4. That'll be over 2. and that will be less than or equal to, oh, I don't know, um, 12. Okay, go ahead and pause, get your solutions, and see what happens. All right. If you're unpausing, I'm assuming you're ready to see what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply each side by 6. When I do that, I will end up with negative 2x plus 4 greater than negative 6. Negative 2x. Oop, I should show that step. Sorry. Getting a little ahead of myself. I'm going to subtract 4 from each side. I'm going to get negative 2x is going to be greater than negative 10. Divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. X is going to be less than 5. How do I know? Because when I multiply or divide by a negative, I have to flip the symbol. The inequality must change direction. All right, because it's an inequality, I'll graph a number line. I'll have a 5 on there. It'll be an open circle. I need the numbers that are less than 5. Blank less than 5. Oh, 3 is less than 5. I'll shade towards a 3. 3 would be over here, right? Don't forget to do that blank check. It's so simple. All right, on this one, I'll multiply each side by 2. I'll get 24 over here. I'll get negative 3x plus 4. I'll subtract 4 from each side, giving me negative 3x less than or equal to 20. I'll divide each side by negative 3. X will be greater than or equal to y. Whoop, 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 whoop. I divided by negative 3. Negative 3 will go into 6. I was in 20. Negative 6 times. And it'll be 2 short, so it'll be 2/3. Okay, on a number line, that is a 3 there. It's kind of a strange looking 3. On a number line, that'll look something like this. Okay, negative 6 and 2/3. All right, it'll be a closed circle. Closed circle. I need the numbers greater than negative 6 and 2/3. Well, the larger numbers are over here, aren't they? Towards the positives. So I'll shade towards the positives. And there you go. All right, I think that's enough examples for now. Monday night, I'll continue this review. Monday during class, you'll get some practice on a review worksheet. And this is Mr. Lawrence signing off, saying have a good weekend, everybody.